Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbé sórí YouTube tí yín tàbí Facebook yín, mo lè send link sí yín o.
Kì í ṣe tẹ́ bá edit ẹ̀ tán.
No, bẹ́ ṣe wà live yìí.
Ó ga o.
Ẹ fẹ́?
All right.
Mo ní ṣé ẹ fẹ́?
Bọ̀ ṣé máa record ẹ̀?
Yes, ó máa wà recorded.
Record ẹ̀ nǹkan kan wá send ẹ̀ nígbà lọ make mistake. Ẹ kàn yẹ kó ṣe yẹ bí yẹ̀yẹ́ ni. Very simple, friendly talking, you know.
Ẹ lè ṣe live nìyẹn o. Tó bá ní live lélẹ́yìí. Ṣé kí n gbé sórí YouTube yín? Kí n send link sí yín kó lè máa wò yín live. Ẹ lè gbé sórí Facebook, wọ́n máa watch yín live.
Okay.
All right, sir. The second. Prof, mo ní ṣé kí n share lórí other platforms.
Okay, sure. Like our platform and everything, you know. Yes. I want to last time fún Tinubu gba election yẹn. I think you hear me.
Yes, sir. Ẹ ti wà live wo.
Okay.
English la fi máa bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Mostly it's English. I don't speak too much Yoruba. I can party Yoruba. Yeah, I think the Honorable has spoken in Yoruba.
Ẹ máa ṣe Yorùbá o. Kò sí Peter Festa school.
Don't do that too. Don't do that.
Wow. We are starting now. Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are joining us on our YouTube channel, Lara Williams Media. We are welcoming you to today's program, and we are saying thank you for joining us on this program. And we are also having a very special guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program on Lara Williams Media. Joining us as our esteemed guests and valued listeners and audience at home, it's an honor to have such an incredible audience with us. I think it was yesterday that we had a guest, but today we are having a very distinguished leader that is going to tell us a lot about democracy, especially in Nigeria. I won't say in Africa, but definitely we are going to touch that later. Whether you are tuning in from the comfort of your home, or maybe you are streaming us online. This is Lara Williams Media. You can get us on YouTube. That is Oluwaranti Misirere Oloide. And also you can get us on Facebook, on Twitter. You will see Lara Williams Media. And at the same time, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your support. And we hope that today's program will bring you joy, inspiration, and valuable insights. Wow, we have an exciting lineup for you, featuring engaging discussions, informative interviews, and captivating content. Today, we have our special guest. I won't tell you much about him, but definitely he will tell you much about himself. His name is Professor Omolara Olafioye. He's from Nigeria, Ondo State. I won't finish it up so that you don't know what I'm about to listen or to get from our special guest today. He's a politician, he's a lecturer, a doctor, a medical doctor, not just ordinary doctor, a medical doctor. So for you to know that that professor is something that is very, very, very unique. So today we are having Professor Omolara Olafioye. Prof, you're welcome today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on your show.
How are you today? I can see some kind of excitement in your face. I can see the joy, I can see the happiness. Can you just introduce yourself to our viewers at home, our listeners, and the audience that are already streamlining online, or maybe they are watching you live on the YouTube? Can you just introduce yourself so that people will know who our distinguished guest is today? Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege and honor to be with you wherever you may be watching. My name is Omolara Olafioye. I'm a physician by trade. I'm an activist also. I'm based here in Detroit, Michigan. My parents are really from Ondo in Cali, but I went to school in Lagos at Yaba Methodist School. That's where I did my elementary and my secondary school. Subsequently came to the United States and did my undergraduate at the University of Detroit and went to medical school, practicing physician. I'm retired now, and you also work as a part-time medical center, and also in the evening, I'm a professor of medical science and anatomy. And my father was a nice young man.
Wow, this is wonderful. You can imagine having this kind of people in the diaspora that are Nigerians. And oh my God, I want to say congratulations to you, Professor Olafioye. In fact, I just look at you. I'm even looking at the level academically you have, the level of experience you have in politics, apart from medicine. I think we are going to have a very interactive time today. Professor Omolara Olafioye is the chairman of a group in diaspora. Yes, he's in Michigan, United States of America, but is the chairman of this group called Nigerian Diaspora Think Tank. Nigeria Diaspora Think Tank. And also is the DG for BATS Vanguard. And when you say BATS Vanguard, you know what that means. So all these are things that we are going to look at. When it started, I told you I can see some excitement in his face. So definitely he's going to tell us more what's brought that excitement. So Prof, by your name and all those things that you have achieved in life, and I pray you continue to achieve more, and everything you achieve will never be in waste. Oh, let me ask you this question. What is your impression about democracy in Africa?
Thank you so much. The word democracy, it really started in the European, in our own context, the African monarchy system. The word democracy was introduced to us, and we are working on it. There's been a lot of progress in many stable parts of Africa. We are learning, we're not yet perfect. We are working with, even in the United States, in the Great Britain, we find a government for the people, by the people, instead of just have this right and the daughter of the king, son of the king automatically becoming the king. So in the democracy process is trying to find probably sometime one of the best candidates through a democratic process of selecting, looking for the best qualified person to do a specific job. And that is what it's about. And in Africa, Ghana, in Nigeria, in different parts of Africa, we are working on it in South Africa. I belong to a group called the United African Community Organization, and we participate. It was recently happened in Gambia, recently happened in Ivory Coast. All this part of the global perspective. I think the Africans' democratic process is on the rise.
Thank you so much, Dr. Olafioye. When we look at democracy, you are talking about Africa, you are talking about the world. Let's go back to our country, Nigeria, where you come from. What do you think has been advantage, something that has been of an advantage, that have been the key factors to democratic election in Nigeria?
Well, as far as that of Nigeria, through disclosure, my father was a local politician where I come from, so I've been following since I was childhood. In Nigeria, this year will be the 25th year of continuous democratic process. We've been in existence. We have independence from Britain since 1960, and this is our 25th year of practicing democracy, and this is a credit to the people of Nigeria, regardless of the doom scenario the West has projected, that we are able to sustain ourselves, and that is why I want to give thanks to people of my country for going through this democratic process. They stand peacefully. In other parts of the world, like in Ivory Coast, we had people, a lot of people, almost about 3,000 people that died during the election. In countries like Uganda, the leader of opposition was jailed. They wouldn't even allow him to participate, in the election process. This is what the credit to His Excellency Buhari, that everybody participated in this election, including my good friend Shumure, and we had about almost 23 distinguished Nigerian men and women who I give credit to, that wanted to serve the country in that capacity. We're talking about a nation of more than 200 million people. For you to lead, that would be a special lot of work, and give them credit. So this time Nigeria was able to pull it out. It's not perfect, we are working on it, and we hope that we will sustain that democracy for our people, and we are making progress.
Thank you so much, Prof. And from the way you are speaking, it seems as if you have gotten some experience. Maybe you have contested, or maybe you are into anything politics. Can you just share some of your experience with us?
Normally, I'm just an activist, although when I was in the University of Detroit, I participated in student government, and when I was in medical school, when I went to WHO, but really, people contribute in different physics of the world, and I choose, I'm more comfortable being a physician and medical doctor, but the life and quality of our people also is very important to me. And this is That was sometime in the 80s when Nelson Mandela came to here in Detroit. He once said something that struck to me that it's something that worth that people give life to so that its people could be free. I mean, South Africa was in bondage for several years. People like him, despite the fact he was a prince, he was ready to sacrifice his life. In Nigeria, we have a whole lot of people who did that. I myself, I joined people in 1994. I was incarcerated by Abacha for speaking out against the military junta in Nigeria. I think a lot of people must pay more price than people like NKO. So we were, a lot of people did a lot. And here in the United States, when we started the Abacha Must Go, because we figured that he was doing too much in our people and he should let our people free. People like Edmund Dyke, we have a whole lot of people who participate, Dr. Joe Gundu, Dr. Alex, a whole lot of our people, Jai, we came together from every part of the world. And that was how we get into to make sure that our people are liberated so that we will have a free democracy that we have right now. So a lot of us pay price. And like I said, a lot of people pay more price than people like me. May they are so rest in peace so that we can enjoy this democracy we have in Nigeria.
Thank you. That is one of the key factors that we are talking about that have sustained democracy in Nigeria, even though you have not contested, maybe for a governorship or maybe for presidency. I know one day you are going to become the president of the country. Well, that's a joke. That's on a lighter mood. So what role do you think that the diasporans have to? Because looking at NDTT, that is where I'm going to bring that question from. What is NDTT?
Well, the entity is the Nigerian Nigerian diaspora think tank. It consists of Nigeria all over the world, over the globe. I belong to several organizations, including Better Nigeria, belongs to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Before this, I also was the vice chairman of the Buhari Oshibanjo group that brought the government of Buhari to power. And at that time, we have the impression that he was the best candidate because of his military background of what was happening in the country. And we were looking for alternative, capable people with capacity to liberate the country. And he offered his service and they did a good job. It's not perfect. Nobody, including myself, is perfect. And it was a time that we participate. Just make sure I've always participate in everything that had to do with my country since my 40-something years in America. Anything that happened to be the heartbeat of the nation, because a lot of us, including myself, benefited a lot from being a Nigerian. I came from a humble background. I've been in a place like this, and simply because I was Nigerian. So whenever any of our head of state comes, I'm always privileged to participate. When President Obasanjo was here, President Jonathan, Abdul Salam, all these head of state, when they come to the country, people like us welcome them and give them rose welcome because they represent the best that we have in the country. And democracy in Nigeria, like I said, is growing, and we look forward in the future to be better than what we have today.
Like you just mentioned now about NDTT, who are the members of this group? And if I may ask this question, what role do you think diaspora has to do in supporting democratic elections at home? Because right now in Nigeria, they don't allow diasporans to vote. So what are those roles that you think diasporans are to, the roles that they are going to play in supporting democratic elections in Nigeria, and at the same time with the roles of the people in NDTT?
Yeah, the NDTT We have our vice president, is Laji Babangana, from Delaware. And he's now back to Nigeria. He's from Maiduguri, trying to make sure he shaped the democracy process in Nigeria. Our secretary, Honorable Ms. Madam Aiko, is from Texas. Baba Femi Lufeyin is from the provost, is from the United Kingdom. We have Omolara from Australia. The strategic officer, Ambassador Chief Titus Somadi, who used to be the president of one of the largest organizations in the United States, from Michigan. We have engineer Benjamin Adebayo. He's a regional director in Kenya. We have Etta Yalode from London. We have Goke, Mr. Goke, one of these computer genius guys based in Chicago. Oriba Michier, director of Canada is Prince Ayesola, and we have Honorable Kumalo, Tina is the director in the US here, regional director, and Honorable Wayola is based in Poland. So we have it all over the globe. Our role, we are professionals who come together to play a role in our country, in a global person. I haven't served in the United Nations before, giving a global perspective of how things are. So we organize ourselves trying to find out what is the best way we could help our people, especially those who we left behind. Because Nigerians need us, because they send us here, and to whose much is given, we expected much, to whose much is given, much is expected. So we came together trying to find out what is the best way we could be of help in the country. And that's what we are doing in terms of supporting the best candidate that will lead the Nigerian renewed hope that we have.
NDTT as a supporting group, because that's what I'll call you for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Can you just tell us the role that NDTT played for the success of his election as the president of the country?
Yes, the role we play is mostly educational. Educational. We communicate with our people, we help in the voter registration, awareness, and compare the competence or the capacity of His Excellency Asiwaju with other candidates. We had debates, with other candidates, we inform candidates, we bring all these candidates together and we analyze why do you think X and Y. But like I said initially, we have very nice people who run for the presidency. Nigeria is blessed to have pool of talented young men and young women who want to serve the country. So it is left that we have to compare experience, capacity building and all this to see at this very time. The last time what we did is that we were looking for a security president. That's why we went for His Excellency. Right. As of today, in 2023, our focus was to have an economic president, because the issue we have in Nigeria right now is that when you have a nation of 218 million people, with 60% of the population is youth, and the unemployment is so high. So we were looking for somebody who have the capacity to deliver on economic terms. The last time was the security. I think His Excellency have done lay the infrastructure of that. But right now, one of the needs that Nigerians need is somebody to turn around manager who could give these young folks a lot of jobs. We have a lot of young brilliant Nigerians who are graduating from universities, and different places, and they need to be employed. And what we find out about Asiwaju Tinubu is that he has the capacity. He's coming up. Look at the issue that he's coming up with. There'll be student loan, and we need somebody to create job. He's talking about the possibility of having mortgage, so that we create job. We need people who have vision, who could create job for our people. If we say we are talking about infrastructure development, So we are looking for something. What would the edge that His Excellency actually will bring to Nigeria? We think he has what it takes, and he will be in the best position. I mean, right now we have recently we just have Dangote, creating the refinery in Nigeria with Lagos that create almost 150,000 jobs. It's expected. It was his vision when he created the Lekki Peninsula. We are looking for somebody who has something unique. All the other candidates are capable too. I'm not saying that, like the vice president, Atiku, and honorable man, the former governor of Anambra, they are good guys. But we are looking for that edge who could serve our people best, who have the capacity, who have the track record, who have the experience. Look at the kind of people like Ashwaju has put in government. The present vice president today, he is member of his cabinet. Honorable Fashola is member of his cabinet, and somebody who have diversity. When he was governor of Lagos, he was the first governor in Nigeria that brought best people from every regard, a very diversified woman who brought the best type, and all these people who later become who are in Nigeria. He worked with them. He in the United Nations, we scream for the best possible person that could serve us. And that's what we need. We need a turnaround manager, somebody who will look into ourselves and say, okay, you are best for this, you are best for that. And regardless, even there's no nepotism, and you'll be surprised. I could guarantee you when he names his cabinet in another 1 or 2 months, Nigeria is looking for surprise. You'll be surprised the kind of people, and I promise the youth of the nation, you all will see a lot of youth in that, and the women too, in that.
I was about asking you that question, that you have just been mentioning youth, men, youth. You have not even mentioned women. I believe the government that is coming in will also be for the women. Well, let me quickly ask this question, because from an experience that you have gathered outside the country, and at the same time your qualifications and everywhere you have participated and taken one role or the other, I can see you as one of the pro-political leader that is a Nigerian in diaspora. If I ask you today, Professor Omolara Olafioye, will you like to become the president of Nigeria? Can you answer that question?
Well, I have better people who are better qualified, who have devoted this time. If you are asking, my area of specialization is in HIV/AIDS. So if you are asking for medicine right now, I would say, okay, I may do some better job, but we have people who have devoted their time in Nigeria, people like Erufai, people, His Excellency, people like Akeredolu, Yaya Bello, people who have stayed in the country, even the governor of Rivers, people who have spent considerable time studying the economy, the trade of the country. So they are better qualified than me. I will definitely support them. It's not everybody is born to be a politician. I'm an activist by nature. So in my training, the World Health Organization, a physician is concerned about individual, but as a healthcare advocate, I'm concerned by the healthcare of the community, of the nation, So those are my areas of calling. So okay. But I think we have better people to serve.
Okay. We have better people that can handle that area of governance. If I ask you another question, if you are called upon and said, with this experience that you have gathered in medicine, come and become the Minister of Health, or they invited you as a consultant so that you can share this, will you be able to take that position?
Yeah, I think that is the issue we in the diaspora is concerned. The last diasporian that served in the cabinet was my good friend, the Secretary General of the World Igbo Congress, Ejiofor, who served during the Obasanjo regime. We in the diaspora, there's a talent of resources. We have Nigerians in medicine, in engineering, who could serve in a better capacity, who are young women, young guys from Harvard. You look at the government of Joe Biden. We have about 4 or 5 Nigerians serving that capacity. Look at the Great Britain, the new prime minister. We have 2 or 3 or 4 Nigerians serving. We have lots of Nigerians. Look at the issue we have: energy, security, economics. We have Nigerians who are capable, and that is what we are looking for, where the next government of Nigeria could tap into. Look at the former economic minister who's serving the economic, who's right now the lady who served in the Economic Council of the World.
Is it Kwesili?
Because she's from diaspora, and I think it was the vice president Atiku that brought her, and a lot of guys, even that they, all these guys are from diaspora. So what we are looking for, or my role as chairman, is to advocate on behalf of our people. Hey, look over here, we got some Nigerians who came from home, who could serve this country. And one of the things is that they are very transparent. They are going to contribute, because anything you do in life, it is about your country. In the Bible, they call it my people. That is very important. And that's because we Nigerians in the diaspora, we are concerned about situation back home. Our parents call us, our sister call us, our brothers call us. We want everybody to have their employment. We want a good job, we want electricity, we want good road infrastructure, we want good healthcare. All these things is what we want. Jobs for the youth, our women, we want them to be educated. We want them good jobs. We want to see them in higher position, in the economy, in security. One of the things that really interests me about is Excellency Shatima, the Vice President nominated and the President-elect, is this job of energy. We are sitting, apart from the petroleum in Nigeria, we are sitting on gas. So if His Excellency Shatima and President-elect Bola Ahmed is talking about laying the pipe of, we have a lot of that in the Bender area, in the Edo area. We're sitting on billions. So if he's ready to lay the pipe to supply Europe, Germany, all over the world, the economy will turn around. And we need somebody who have that kind of capacity to look into the world and say, look, get me some money, get me some loan. Let's create some jobs here. Let's supply the world, because God has really blessed Nigeria. All we need is somebody to captain the boat and don't. You see this gentleman, he graduate here from Chicago. We are very proud because he's diasporian, and he was taught by Mobile, and before you know, he became an auditor. It's just one of Fortune 500 companies in the world.
That's a great achievement that I want to ask a question about. That why are you so much concerned about Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu? We just had the last elections a few months. He was elected, and now I know you are a very proud Nigerian. You are proud of where you come from, but I can see that you have some kind of personal interest in Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why this interest in him? I know you have started mentioning those qualities, but I want you to tell us exactly why. What do you see in Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu and make you to think he's going to be the best president for the country?
At this very particular time, there's season for everything. Like I submitted to your audience, that the last time we need a military head of state. From their own advantage position that we are, we need an economic turnaround manager to lead the country at this time. Because the last time we had this youth rioting in Lagos, Nigeria, all over, because they need jobs. What we need right now is somebody who has the capacity to create jobs, who have done it before. Look at the kind of way he turned the economy of Lagos to an Eldorado of economy. It's not that other people don't have the capacity. They could do it, but everybody, like you said, it's his time, right? let's support it. And that's my own appeal to Nigerian. It's one time, your time, everybody's time will come. Right now it is his time. Let's support him. We have some issue about the election, and like I have praises for Nigeria. We some countries they are fighting, but in Nigeria we went to court. That the system there. Then wait for the system to join. But let's join because we have people who is sleeping in the street of Kano who need job. We have people in Enugu who need job. We have people in Warri who need job. Let's find a way to create job. When we were growing up, some of us like myself were so fortunate. I came from my humble background, and I was so fortunate to get to this country at the age of 17. And, I wish that for every Nigerian, boys and girls, to have the opportunity. And if there's somebody, if anything I could do to make that happen, that's why for the candidate that comes over here, I thought right now, for the best time, for this very moment, let's give it a shot, and we have opportunity to evaluate in 4 years' time, him and the vice president. And then subsequently, we'll make decision at that time. I mean, can you imagine if we didn't have Buhari as the head of state some 9, 10 years ago? The Boko Haram was everywhere. We can't even go to the church. We can't go to the mosque. We can't do anything. It would have run us over. So we need a military guy who have the knowledge. Yeah, and yes, you could say that this terrorism is not solved, but it's a global. Even in the US, we cannot solve the global terrorism in US.
I was about asking that question because the way you are saying it is just as if he has eradicated what we call terrorism. But let's just leave that because you have already answered that. I know you suffered for democracy. That is a fact. So, and I can feel what you are feeling right now. I want to ask you this question. Your experience with military regime, how does it look like?
Yeah, the issue we have here, let's just so rest in peace. There's people like Echo, Dr. Echo. There was this gentleman. His name is Abiola. It's not a king. Abiola. He came from Chicago. He's a friend. He's a brother to one of my friends here. And he organized us at that time that what is going on, that we should do something about it. Akib Abiola and Echo, Geradike, Chile Chukwu, a whole lot of my friends and some guys, we came together. And then we invited the Nobel Prize, Uncle Wale Soyinka, to come and speak to us at Wayne State, where Professor Echo was a professor at that time. And little do we know at that time that we have informants among us. And then, so by the time we had all this problem in Nigeria, so some of us will have seminar everywhere and trying to release the bondage in which Nigeria was. And we were calling for the military to step aside and let them have a democratic process in Nigeria. So subsequently, we had an election, and late MK Abiola won the election. So at that time, some of us were also arraigned to be part of the working committee, just like we do every time. And by the time I got to Nigeria, I was working as an HIV doctor by that time. The SS came to my house and I was arrested because the allegation was that time that we were the one calling for the military to step aside. So we were interrogated and that thing. And luckily, some of us were detained. Like I said, a lot of people lost their life, but luckily at that time, I was working for the United Nations and my wife son of Miss Blesshan, blessed memory, when I got locked up, he asked to contact the UN because I was under contract for the UN. I went to Nigeria and Yugoslavia and all those, trying to teach how to, because I'm one of those early doctors who specialize in the field of HIV. So we were released eventually because I was interrogated that we were one of the boys for Abiola, who was calling for his restoration of his regime. People like Abiola, His Excellency, Ashwaju, they are in the bigger league. We were just a student radicals by then, but he was in the Nadeco and the Iligiwa and a lot of all these guys who suffered a lot, So we had, it's in our blood to fight for our people, It's in our blood. We are one of those who, and when I was released, the first person that came to see me was he was a student, he was the president of the student union, Shogure. It was when I was released from the prison, he was the first person to come.
That was when he was University of Lagos.
Yeah, he came to my house and he was, to come and see this guy who was, the guy who was, and a lot of people paid a lot of price, to bring democracy to the country. And when he was running for the president, he came here in Michigan and we talked, and like every other leaders, everybody have a role to play. There are a lot of people wish Nigerian well. I'm very happy to be a Nigerian, and there are a lot of our people doing big, big things, and that is what we need. One of the happiest moments in my life is the day that the Nigerian won the World Cup. I happened to be in Nigeria at that time, and with my children, Olumide, Jovan, Christopher, and my wife, we were so happy. The whole Nigerian see the beautiful in Nigeria, how beautiful Nigeria is. When there's soccer, there is no Igbo, there's no Yoruba, there is no Hausa. We are all Yoruba, we are all Nigerians. And everybody at 2 a.m. in the whole night, the whole country was so happy that we were at that moment, at that time, we are one of the best in the world. And that is the spirit of Nigeria. And that is what we are appealing to all Nigerians from every facet of life. Let's come together. Yes, an election is just like playing soccer. Somebody's going to win. There are 23 or 19 of you who ran for the presidency. Only 23 of you cannot win. Atiku say he won. Obi say he won. Bola Tinubu say he won. Showore probably everybody's probably won. But it's only one. Okay. Let's you all could still form a unity government. You all still have a role to play.
Okay. Well, I'm about to ask some questions relating to your candidate, that is Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As a notable diasporan in Nigeria and diaspora, what are you expecting the new government to do for those of us that we're outside the country? Irrespective of election, we are thinking that they should allow diasporans also to be voting. Or what do you think about that?
That is very important. That is one of the, I think His Excellency Obasanjo started that, that in NIDO, and my friend, Honorable Michael Kaka, who's one of the special assistants to Governor Obi, was also advocating for that through the Obi campaign and also through the Atiku campaign. That, it's about time, but the role of Nigeria in the diaspora, what is our role and how we want to help the country, but we got to make sure, the system is work, because, look at us at back home, we are developed up in home. So eventually that time will come when the Nigerians in diaspora, we vote, and as a matter of fact, during the directorate, we were assured that the Nigerian in the diaspora, we vote. One of our good friend, Prince Omale was talking about that is part of the manifesto of the APC right now. Here also, Dorothy, everybody was talking about that, all the diasporian leaders, who are in the forefront, people like us, we are in the back. There's a lot of people over the years that but most of the important thing we want is an investment in Nigeria. The vote is not as important as our investment. So we want people to give us tax break, pharmacological, let's have medicine in Nigeria, let's bring state-of-the-art hospital in Nigeria, let's bring industry into Nigeria. We have a lot of Nigerians who are engineers. One of my good friends, Shehu Paranta, is dead now. He used to be part of the Presidential Council. We went to the University of Detroit together. He studied engineering. In fact, one of the Nigerians here in Michigan here discovered the wiper for the cars. We have a lot of, we want to bring industry to Nigeria. We got a lot of people. We are the largest, we are the largest Black nation on the surface of the earth. We have a lot of mouth to feed. Everybody look at it. Look at how much we spend in Liberia to support the democracy in Liberia. We spend tons of money over there. In Congo, one of my uncle, General Bajowa, was one of those. That was the first time I found out that somebody went to Congo. And I came and says, well, from my village, and he was serving the military in Congo. A friend of mine, Yela, he lost his hand, So there's a whole lot of things that Nigeria will bring. And that is it's not only the political aspect of it. We're talking about economic aspect. Okay, look at security now. We used to have technology to help us to fight the technology. I was saying the last time that it's a global problem. We got to use technology, the automobile, the infrastructure, economy. They have to trust us diasporians, give us a role to play. One of the good things about diasporians, we are very transparent. We have come to the West and we have seen nobody get away the government money. If you do that in other countries, you will go to jail. So I'm thinking that's a deterrent from the diasporian not to do that. The healthcare, the power, the electricity. I'm from a village, in Okitukwa area. My people have not seen electricity for the past 10, 20 years. You can imagine how my cousin in my village, who have not seen electricity feel, the power that we enjoy in the West. So if somebody have what it takes to bring a technology, minds and power, create jobs for my people, the unemployment of Nigeria is almost about 60% for the youth. The education system, Nigeria have one of the best brains in nursing, in engineering, in medicine. Everybody's looking for Nigerians to be their doctors. I have friends, everybody wants to have a Nigerian friend doctor here in America because they know we study excessively. We need agriculture. One of the good things in Lagos right now, was it in Lagos, another part of the north, we start producing rice. That's one of those things that this regime has done where they start producing rice. We got to feed people. And that's why we cannot, the one thing I like about our people, even Obi, is that he's talking about bringing the country together. And that's very far. Now, that's why he's so popular among the diasporians, but not as popular as Ashwagi, though, because he's talking about bringing all of us together. Atiku was very influential there. He came over to diaspora and picked the best brains, the former vice president. And that's what we expect from His Excellency the President-elect, that he will come over here, look at our people, because there's job to be created, there's economic issue facing the country, there's food to be, we need to create job, we need to get the education system, so that these kids go to school. And a lot of Nigerians, especially the girls in the up north, they need to go to school, They need to have education. They are very successful Nigerians, you know. We need job for them. We need electricity. We need manufacturing job. We need industry. Look at our entertainment industry. You know, the video, what they call the other guy who's speaking Buga, you know, it's all over the world. We are just one of the best people God Almighty have created in the universe.
Yes, yes. I am proud to be a Nigerian. Anytime, any day, I am proud to be a Nigerian. And look at you. You are one of the people we are talking about. That's the truth. You are one of the people we are talking about. You are one of the best aunts that we have outside our country. Even if you are not taking up a position, I think you should be a consultant in the area of medicine, because we don't expect another president that will be leaving the country to travel to another country because for medical checkup. I think that should stop. If we have somebody like you in Nigeria as a consultant in the area of the medical, I think you are going to be a better aunt there. So that is what I'm saying, that assuming they call upon you and say, Professor Lafioye, we need your assistant in medicine. Are you ready to go to Nigeria and do that for us?
Be a problem, like I've said, right now, I think the last time we heard the vice president and the president just established a healthcare villa in the Ibadan. The former president of the Nigerian Medical Council, Professor Paduile, you know, these are the kind of people, he was the president of the Nigerian Medical Council, and now they tap him at Ondo now to be a minister of state for health. These are the resources, these are what we are talking about in the United Nations. We got people like that, people like us who serve in that capacity as an advisor, you know, but people like Professor Fadulis, those are young people. We have many doctors in Nigeria who are capable and who should be given the opportunity. But people like us, we could just be an advisor. And
Professor, but doctor, a lot of doctors are leaving Nigeria. A lot of them are leaving the country. So if they can see some good ones like you as a consultant that will be there with them, telling them the right thing to do, I think it will encourage the government to build more hospitals, create more. Okay, I know you want to say something.
Yeah. Don't forget, happen to be one of the first group of doctors in the world to specialize on HIV. This present chief of staff, Laji Gambari, at that time was the Nigerian ambassador to the United Nations. I went on a conference in Chicago and I gave a talk about alternative healthcare in Nigeria. And that's where he tapped me to come and serve at that time in the United Nations. So I have served I served 4 years in the issue of HIV and AIDS. I was one of the group of first doctors who trained, because I graduated from med school in 86 and with HIV came around in 85. So they were looking for a group of doctors who were pioneers who studied HIV and AIDS, just like Ebola, all this. So when I first finished, I was one of those people who served my time. Teaching doctors, nurses, how to try to treat HIV, how to diagnose that. And we are, even at this golden age of our life, have a hospital in Nigeria. And I have capable, I was talking to one of my good friends, Dr. Theophilus Olifon, yesterday. And he was trying to build a hospital in Lagos, the suburb. You know, this is true. And that's what I'm saying. Yes, young Nigerians should be able to travel out. But we, elder statesmen, should also be able to come back to serve our country. And that's what exactly we want to make it possible that.
That is exactly where I'm coming from.
Yes, we are ready to come back, make it available. Don't come over here and say we should pay, we bring an old card and we should pay X amount of money. You know, before, a long time ago, you know, they used to give us tax discounts. Like a good friend of mine, a good friend of mine just went to the Owerri recently. He's a friend to Ambassador Amadi, he just went to start industry back there. A lot of Nigerians everywhere in the world. And that's one thing that's a thing where Ashwaju, Bola Ahmed to have an egg, because he's a diasporian. He knows there's a lot of us who want to come back. One of the things that in the Yoruba, Oriade Osuta, and one thing about Igbo community that we found out, all of them want to go back home, but they want the country to make it possible so that they can come home. And if anything happened to any of our Igbo brothers and sisters here, we have to take them home. But I believe that they want to be there alive. So make it conducive for us, so we could start industry, we could start little business, make the security. Don't let us come over here and somebody got missing by being kidnapped. That scares a lot of us in the diaspora, that we come home, then again, we love so much, and all of a sudden, something happened to us. So don't forget, the community policing started in Lagos, during the Ashwaju regime, you know. So we are looking forward, just like Akedo did in Ondo. A lot of these things, we are looking for this community policing to start helping so we could address the issue. Let's solve the tension in our country, you know, in the north, in the east. Let's stop our tension. Let us come together and make a beautiful country together, and our Nigeria will be a great country.
Thank you, Prof. If you are just joining us, this is Omolara Williams Media channel on YouTube. And our guest that we are having today is a very notable politician, medical doctor, an ambassador of our country, Nigeria. In fact, I can't say it's more. And he's also the chairman of NDTT and also the DG for BATSB. A lot of qualification to qualify Professor Olafioye. I want to say thank you, Doctor, today, because I've taken a lot of your time, over almost an hour now. And if you give me the grace, I will keep on asking you more questions. And I know you to be a good orator, right? So I want to ask you, finally, what is your advice to Nigerians?
Well, we've got to be prayerful. You know, we got to support each other. We got to make peace with each other. We are our brother's keeper. Whether north, south, or east. There's a reason, my brothers and sisters, that we were not born in the Philippines. There's a reason why we were not born in Saudi Arabia. From Lagos to Maiduguri, it's less than 45 minutes airspace. We are like cousins, brothers, and sisters. One of the things in unity, we got to stand together. We have this smaller place, and God has blessed us. Population, brain, you know, everybody can be the governor of Lagos State. Everybody can be the governor of Abia. Everybody can be the governor of Sokoto. But there's always room for everybody in Nigeria. There's a niche for everybody. So my advice from my own position is that let's love one another. Let's pray for our leaders. And those who are trying to lead us, let everybody work together. You know, we are brothers and sisters. You know, things is going to be better. One of the things we don't want is, anybody to lose hope. We don't want, we come from a lot of people in the world are very envious of being, just of us and abroad. When you say you are a Nigerian, it's just like telling people you're an American. People gravitate towards us because we're Nigerians. We're, you know, the white, green, green flag. People gravitate. We are like the chosen ones. The world. You know, everywhere we go, people respect Nigerians. You know, they kind of, because Nigerian in diaspora, they work so hard. You know, all these things. And that's why you say, I'm even grateful as recently the Better Nigeria, an organization that belongs to, donate $1 million because Naira, because the massacre in our war. You know, a lot of us just come together and people start donating money because people go to church in our war and people go over there and kill them. We want to love each other, you know. I want us to know we are one. Anybody, we are one. Let's love each other. I mean, we have a lot of these youth up north who are not going to school. You know, let's find a way to send them to school. I like what some of governors is doing in the north. They're trying to train those young boys and girls. You know, let's do that. Look in the east. People are very industrious. Give somebody a little money. Look at Dangote, what Dangote has done in Nigeria. Create jobs. I mean, very diversified young man, very simple young man. You know, God has blessed him. That's a typical Nigeria, lucky guy. You know, all these people, they create jobs, make people happy. My job, we just want to hear good news about people. I want to say you are all right. I'm all right. That's
Yes.
all. Make your Nigeria.
Thank you, Professor Olafioye Shalewa. It has been nice having you on Lara Williams Media today. And I know our viewers at home, and they would have gained a lot from what you have said today. In fact, we are able to look at it together and also share from some of your past experience. It's good to have you on Lara Williams Media. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be our guest for today. Oh, now I think we need to go to Yoruba because just 10 minutes. I won't take your time. Mo mọ̀ pé ẹ ti ń wò pé ó ti tó wákàtí kan èyí tí mo ti gbà lọ́wọ́ yín níbi tí mo ti ń sọ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ń ṣáà ń fọ́ mò ń fọ́ ẹ ṣáà ń wò pé èbó yìí ò wá pọ̀ jù. Bàbá wa ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí o, ẹ bá wa dárúkọ yín fáwọn èèyàn wa ń lé.
Orúkọ mi ni Ọmọṣàléwá Akínmọ́lú Láfíwíyì.
Ẹ tẹ̀ kíra yín délédélé gan ni. Ọmọ ìlú wo gan lẹ jẹ́?
Mo wá láti ìlú kan tó ń pè ní Ìgbótakò ní ìlú Ìpá nígbègbè Oǹdó, ọmọ Òdùwà.
Ẹ súnmọ́ Ìkálẹ̀ nìyẹn o.
Àbàbà Ìkálẹ̀ ni.
Ẹ kú dédé àsìkò.
Yes, ọba wa ń lu wa Àbòdì of Ìkálẹ̀ náà ní ọdún 3 sẹ́yìn wọ́n fi mí jẹ ààrẹ lórí Ìkálẹ̀.
Ní ìmọ̀ pé ẹjọ́ yẹn á tún fi chief síwájú professor yẹn á pé chief professor Dr. Olafioye Shalewa àtẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́ fi sáàrin tẹ́ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pè tán fún wa yẹn. Ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí o bàbá wa. A rí wípé a wò yín gẹ́gẹ́ bí ògbóǹtarìgì olóṣèlú, ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi ọgbọ́n tó fi ta lọ́rẹ, ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n fi ń yangàn láwùjọ ní orílẹ̀-èdè míì tẹ̀sídọ́mọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ǹjẹ́ lè sọ díẹ̀ lára àwọn ìrírí èyí tẹ́ ti rí, èyí tó ti jẹ́ bí ọgbọ́n tí ẹ fi pinnu wípé ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ di èèyàn pàtàkì orílẹ̀ alààyè?
Bí mo ṣe sọ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, ilé láti ń kórè kò délé. Àwọn fámìlì mi jẹ́ àwọn kan tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ń kàwé níbi náà ti bí wa. Senior brother is a librarian, Olúwọlé Ọláfíwíyì. Second senior brother is a professor náà ni wọ́n. So wọ́n uncle mi Ọláyé principal iléèwé. Other uncle Bidoye, their headmaster, my sister, Chief Wọlá. So wọ́n ṣe ìmọ̀lẹ̀ fáwa tí a bá fojú sí ẹ̀kọ́ wa, tí a bá fi ojú sí ẹ̀kọ́ wa pé a lè rí bá ti ṣe lọ́nà gbígbà. So ìpínlẹ̀ táwọn fi sílẹ̀ là tẹ̀lé.
Ìpínlẹ̀ tán fi sílẹ̀ lẹ́ ń tẹ̀lé.
èyí ń ṣe àánú Ọlọ́run la rí gbà.
Bàbá wa ẹ jẹ́ ká wá wò báyìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo sọ fún yín, mi ò ní gbà ju ìṣẹ́jú 10 péré lọ fún èdè Yorùbá yìí. A rí wípé ètò òṣèlú ìdìbò ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ tán níbi tí àwọn èèyàn ti dìbò yan ààrẹ tuntun sípò, tó jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin gangan lẹ ń ṣe alágbàtẹ̀rù ẹni tí ó di ààrẹ báyìí lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà nípasẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ kan èyí tẹ́ ń pè ní Nigerian Diaspora Think Tank, kí wọ́n jẹ́ alátìlẹyìn fún ààrẹ tuntun lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Mo fẹ́ béèrè kí ni ẹgbẹ́ yìí gan dálé lórí, àti pé kí ni àwọn nǹkan gan tẹ́ fi ṣe, tẹ́ fi gbé ẹgbẹ́ ìkalẹ̀, àti pé àwọn owó gan ló wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ náà.
Bá a ṣe sọ lẹ́tẹ̀lẹ̀, àwọn ẹgbẹ́ yìí jẹ́ àwọn ọmọlúwàbí tó ń rò láti máa gbé orílẹ̀-èdè wa lókè. So èmi tó yẹ pé èèyàn tó yẹ pé mo ṣiṣẹ́ fún United Nations tẹ́lẹ̀, mo ní opportunity bá àwọn èèyàn oríṣiríṣi ní àgbáyé. Vice President wa Alhaji Baba Ghana, Secretary wa Àṣìpà ọmọ, Secretary wa Provost wa ìlú London ti wá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Adébáyọ̀, a tún ní àwọn ní Áfíríkà náà, a tún ní àwọn olóyè dúdú yẹmí ìkan tó wà ní South Africa, so Ọ̀túnba. So gbogbo ìlànà náà ni pé wọ́n ní bí ọmọdé bá gbẹ́gi nínú igbó, àgbà a máa wo ibi tó máa bọ́ sí. Làákàyè tọ́lọ́run dẹ̀ fún wa, bí mi ṣe ń jọ sí pé kì í ṣe mímọ̀ ṣe wà kí nígbà níjó ní tí ìṣèlú ìbẹ̀rẹ̀, wọ́n ń wá ààrẹ tuntun. Àwa náà wò pé ààrẹ ìlú àpò àwọn èèyàn lọ́tún ló sì ká jókòó ní ọ̀rọ̀ olúwa tá lẹ́rù kó lẹ̀ mọ́ kí ni nǹkan tó ń ní wa lára náà báyìí. Sọ pé ìwà security yìí ní gbọ́mọgbọ́mọ kan máa pààyàn. Àwọn ló ń ṣèjọba, àwọn ní ká yàn, ká máa dúró lẹ́yìn ẹ̀, ká máa tún pàtì lẹ́yìn, ká dúró gbígbé ẹgbẹ́ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Àwa ni pé General Buhari kọ tó dàbí kíní General Ọbásanjọ́ ń gbà yẹn náà, wọ́n ti ṣe ológun rí. Gbàdá ogun ìbílẹ̀ ló dẹ̀ ogun ìṣòkà fi wá sọ pé lọ́tẹ̀ yìí o, a máa gbégun tì. Bàbá dẹ̀ ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣàlà. Bàbá ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tó bá wu Ọlọ́run àpọ̀ ìgbé. So ní ọwọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ tá a wà yìí, ní dédé wò ni. A di pé àwọn ọmọ wa ìṣiṣẹ́ làwọn ní ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, wọ́n ń wáṣẹ́. So àwa wo gbogbo àwọn tó wà ń ta, èèyàn tó wà ń bẹ̀ àmọye ló qualify o, tó ń mọṣẹ́ yẹn o. Ẹ̀wọ́n tó bá lọ sí ṣiṣẹ́ application, àwa wo ẹni tó lé experience jù, tó mọ kíní yìí ṣe jù. Gbàdúrà mi dẹ̀ ń sọ kì í ṣe àgbà òjò la fi ń sọ̀yà, kì í ṣe ẹnìkan ló dì o. Àwa gbogbo wọn, àwa rí i pé bàbá ni bàbá ń jẹ́ aṣíwájú, ó pẹ́ ló ti ń bọ̀. Ó dẹ̀ ń bá àwọn ẹ̀wẹ̀ ṣeré, ó ń kó wọn jọ. Òun náà ló fi vice president yẹn síbẹ̀, òun náà ló fi Fáṣọlá síbẹ̀, Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá, gbàdán dẹ̀ ń wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àwọn náà young people ni wọ́n. So àwọn ẹnìkan tó máa ṣe ààrẹ fún wa, tó máa ro ń pa àwọn youth, àwọn ọmọbìnrin, tó máa fún wọn ṣe, tó máa dáṣẹ́ tí làákàyè wọn, Ọlọ́run fún ní ẹ̀bùn nígbà tí wò lọ́tún lósì. Bá jẹ́ ní Ilé Ifẹ̀ ni àwọn Ọ̀ọ̀ni wà ń lù ní àbá sọ pé ká lọ bá wọn ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ọ̀ọ̀ni, láti wá wò pé gbogbo àwọn tó wà lẹ̀ yìí o, ó dàbí pé aṣíwájú tá bá fún ní chance, tá bá dẹ̀ ìmọ̀ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, kò ní easy o, ọ̀tọ̀ ó lè ṣeé ṣe lórí economist làwọn, it's an accountant. Bàbá dẹ̀ ń wáṣẹ́, máa wá sọ́dọ̀ àwọn tó mọ ìdí nìyẹn because that ilé ayé tá a wà yìí ní ilé ayé kan tá a wà yìí náà ní orí ń fọ́ ẹ wàá lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹ tó mọ òògùn ẹ̀fọ́rí bí mọ́tò ẹ bàjẹ́ wàá lọ sọ́dọ̀ mẹkáníìkì bí ọmọ ẹ ò mọ̀wé wàá lọ sọ́dọ̀ lesson teacher tó máa kọ́ ọmọ ẹ dáadáa nígbà tá a dẹ̀ wo ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ yẹn náà tó wà ńlẹ̀ àìsàn tó wà ní Nàìjà iṣẹ́ ni oògùn ìṣẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ tí iṣẹ́ ni oògùn ìṣẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn tí ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣe wá mú aṣíwájú nìyẹn pé bàbá yìí báwa gbé ẹrù kọ́lọ́n fún ẹ kọ́lọ́n dúró tì ẹ́ kí gbogbo Yorùbá dẹ̀ dúró tì ẹ́ kí gbogbo Ìgbò dúró tì ẹ́ kí Haúsá dẹ̀ dúró tì ẹ́ kí ẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn Haúsá yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ dúró tì bàbá o láìtàlà wọ́n dúró tì bàbá o.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ yín ẹgbẹ́ ọpọ́n Ifá ẹnà síwájú ẹnà sẹ́yìn ẹnà sọ́tún ẹnà sósì ẹni tí Ifá wa mú òun yẹn gbé adé lórí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ tí yín tẹ máa ń sọ ẹ́ ní èmi ló kàn ẹlẹ́jẹ́ ká wò báyìí pé fún wọnba ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó wà lókè òkun tẹ̀yin jẹ́ ọ̀kan pàtó lára wọn tẹ̀ sì dá ẹgbẹ́ NDTT sílẹ̀ kí ni ìrètí lọ́jọ́ ìjọba tuntun tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gorí àlééfà yìí?
Ìrètí wa ni pé àwa tá a wà lókè òkun tó jẹ́ ká máa parapọ̀ máa dìbò kó lè jẹ́ kí a lè dá iṣẹ́ lẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà kan make bó get tax exemption ní o bóyá industry ní o kan fún wa ní ààyè because àìrọ̀rùn ẹyẹ láìrọ̀rùn.
Ìrọ̀rùn igi òun ni ìrọ̀rùn ẹyẹ.
Ẹ máa kọ ẹ̀kọ́ àgbàgbé bíkọ́ bá ṣe wà ń bì nínú nǹkan tó ṣèyàn ló gbó òmùsọ̀ kó tó ṣèyàn lókùtùpá kó tó ṣèyàn ń bàdàn ara wa ni o tí wọ́n pé fóònù rẹ̀ ti wà ń sìn àwọn èèyàn wa tó lẹ́ ń ṣiṣẹ́ l'Amẹ́ríkà ní London ní Western Germany ní Australia ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ó ká wa lára o má gbàgbé ilé o àjò lè dùdù oníní má relé gbàdọ́ náà dẹ̀ fún wa nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà so èdè wa ni pé ẹni tó máa bá wa tún Nàìjà ṣe kí ó lè rọrùn àti hospital o àti iṣẹ́ o àti mọ́tò o àtọ̀nà o àtomi o àti electricity o gbogbo yẹn tó máa fún yàn ẹni tó bẹ̀ mọ́ ṣe kò sẹ́nìkan tó pé o Ọlọ́run nìkan ló pé ní pé ká faradà àwọn tó dẹ̀ bínú ká bẹ̀ wọ́n kó má bínú àwọn míì wà tó pé àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa ń sinmi ẹgbẹ́ ìbò fún wọn báyàn sọ púpọ̀ tó rọ́rọ̀ yìí àdẹ̀jà tẹ́lẹ̀ kò sí kíni bọ́ àgbà máa fi ìrọ̀nú bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹwà ò yẹ ká dáyàn ní àwòrán ara wa Ọlọ́run ló ti dá wa.
Ọlọ́run ló sọ yẹn ẹ lè jẹ́ dókítà ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ló ní ẹwà ẹ jẹ́ ká dáre nǹkan tá a kàn sọ ni pé Nàìjíríà yìí ti gbogbo wa ni ó máa gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ àtẹ̀mí ní Ìgbò àtẹ̀mí ní Yorùbá o àtẹ̀mí ní Haúsá o àtẹ̀mí ní Fúlàní o àtẹ̀mí ní Buhari o àtẹ̀mí Tìfù o àtẹ̀mí ní Urhobo èdè tó wà lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ó lé ní 100.
Kábíyèsí.
Ṣé ẹ rí pé Ọlọ́run dá orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà dáadáa?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni fún wa lẹ́bùn.
Nírú jù báyìí lọ lórí ètò wa àtijọ́jọ́ tòní tó mo rí pé dókítà Ọláfíóyè wọ́n ti ń wojú mi pé Ọmọlára ṣóòdẹ̀ ní jẹ́ ń lọ sùn. Dókítà, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o, Professor Shalewa Ọláfíóyè, we're so grateful for your time. Àdúpẹ́ torí pé ẹ wá sórí ètò yìí, ẹ wò wípé kí tẹ̀ ló fẹ́ sọ, kí ló fẹ́ ṣe, mo dẹ̀ tún fẹ́ fi àkókò yìí lórúkọ gbogbo iléeṣẹ́ Lara Williams Media pé ẹ ṣé gan-an ẹ kú àtìlẹ́yìn wa o, torí pé kí ni ẹni tó bá dúpẹ́ orí àná gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà ṣe máa ń sọ mi ò tó pòwe níwájú yín o wípé ẹni tó bá dúpẹ́ orí àná àrí mi ìgbà àdúpẹ́ torí pé ẹ̀yin lẹ gbé wa síta báyìí lórí ètò ìdúpẹ́ àti pé ẹ fẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn mọ ipa tí ẹgbẹ́ NDTT kó nínú ètò ìdìbò sí ipò ààrẹ àti àwọn ipò gómìnà àti ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ní àgbà ní àti ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojúṣòfin pátápátá àti tìpínlẹ̀ náà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ẹ ṣeun, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, àdúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, a ó máa rí yín bá o. Gbogbo ẹ̀yẹ lólùfẹ́ wa nílé tí ẹ ti bá wa wà, ẹ bá wa ṣe ti Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, ẹ ṣeun, àdúpẹ́. Ẹ tún ní sùúrù fún wa, ẹ tún bá wa ṣe ti Yorùbá, ẹ ṣeun, àdúpẹ́. Títí a fi pàdé lọ́jọ́ míì, ọjọ́ rẹ̀. Orúkọ tèmi ò yí padà o, Abíọ́dún Ọmọlára Williams lórúkọ tèmi. Prof, ẹ ṣeun gan lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Títí ọjọ́ mi, mo rò pé tá a bá tún pè yín pé Prof a nílò yín lórí àlééfà, mo rò pé ẹ kàn sí wa níkàn yín kíákíá. Mi nígbà yín lákòókò tó bá pọ̀ jù mọ́ tó bá fi máa dìgbà yẹn. Títí ọjọ́ mi, ọjọ́ rẹ̀, ire lójú owó ń rí o, ire ni gbogbo wa yóò máa rí láṣẹ ọba mi Èdùmàrè, ire o, ó dàbọ̀.
Dàbọ̀, ẹ ṣé gan-an.